In the violent history of the Imperium, not all battles are fought with bolter and blade. There are those who tread dangerously close to the edge of damnation in their quest to gain an advantage over their enemies, wielding knowledge and power that would be deemed heretical by the more rigidly orthodox factions. These warriors walk a thin line, balancing on the precipice of corruption, yet always striving to remain true to the Emperor's light. Their methods are radical, their decisions pragmatic, and their results often come at a terrible cost. Among these daring sects are the Exorcists, a chapter unlike any other within the Adeptus Astartes. In this video, we will explore how this elusive chapter dares to embrace the dark arts they've sworn to destroy. From the chilling trials of demonic possession therapy to the hidden secrets within their fortress monastery on Banish, the Exorcists have become masters of exploiting the very forces they seek to eradicate, all while maintaining an uncanny immunity to chaos. Created during the mysterious 13th Founding, also known as the Dark Founding, the Exorcist genetic lineage has long been debated, obscured by secrecy and heavily classified by the highest authorities within the Imperium. While it is rumored that they share the bloodline of the Imperial Fists, this fact remains hidden, known only to a select few within the chapter. What is clear, however, is that the Exorcists were designed with a singular purpose: to stand against the forces of chaos in ways no other chapter dares. The possible connection to Rogel Dawn, the unyielding Primarch of the Imperial Fists, adds weight to this theory. Dawn, known for his iron will and rumored ability to calm the warp around him, would provide a fitting genetic foundation for a chapter tasked with resisting the temptations of chaos. Yet, despite the potential link to Dawn, some whisper that the Exorcists are not his sons at all, but rather descendants of the Grey Knights, those who are said to bear the Emperor's own gene seed. This theory, however, holds less weight, given the sanctity of the Grey Knights' lineage and the improbability of their gene seed being used for an experimental chapter. Still, the Exorcists' close ties to the Inquisition, particularly the Ordo Malleus, have fueled rumors of their more esoteric origins. What makes the Exorcists truly unique is not just their uncertain lineage, but their remarkable resistance to demonic corruption. Unlike many chapters who rely solely on the purity of their gene seed, the Exorcists' resilience comes from a combination of their genetic makeup and something far more sinister. Whispers abound of borderline heretical rituals that each Marine must undergo, ceremonies said to temper their souls against the warp itself. These rites, while rarely discussed, even within the chapter, are thought to be the reason the Exorcists can endure and resist the insidious influences that would shatter lesser warriors. Whether this resistance stems from their gene seed or the dark trials they endure remains a closely guarded secret, leaving even their allies to wonder what price they pay for their strength. The Exorcists have earned a reputation as heroes of the Imperium, purging demon worlds and saving entire sectors from the clutches of chaos. However, their clandestine role as demon hunters has made them the subject of suspicion. Many within the Imperium, particularly among the Puritans, view their methods with unease, their presence in chaos-touched war zones, and their strange rites enough to provoke whispers of heresy. Some, like the Black Templars, cast a wary eye on the Exorcists, even though the two chapters may share the same genetic heritage. The irony is not lost on those who understand their true mission, a mission born from secrecy, suffering, and unwavering duty to protect the Imperium at all costs, even from the dark powers that threaten to consume it from within. The Exorcist chapter, while already adept in battle, during their early years, encountered a critical moment that forever altered their path on the demon-ravaged planet of Totem 4. Known for their tactical versatility and unwavering loyalty to the Imperium, the Exorcists were dispatched to face a rising tide of chaos, led by the Sintian greater demon, Keriath the Shrouded. The colonists had fought bravely, but by the time they called for aid, the invasion was well underway. Upon landing on Totem 4, the Exorcists were met with an overwhelming horde of warp-spawned abominations, twisted by the arcane powers of the Architect of Fate. However, unlike many other Astartes, the Exorcists displayed a unique resistance to the corrupting effects of the warp, facing down demonic threats with an implacable spirit that would have crumbled lesser warriors. This resilience became a defining feature of the Exorcists' identity, though the exact source of their ability to endure the horrors of chaos remained a mystery. Whether it was due to their genetic lineage, perhaps a gift from Rogel Dawn, their rumored Primarch, or protection from the Emperor himself, the Exorcists withstood the warp-spawned monstrosities of Tzeentch where others would have faltered. As they pushed deeper into the corrupted cityscapes of Totem 4, even the mind-warping powers of the sorcerers and demons failed to break their will. However, Keriath the Shrouded, enraged by their ability to resist his mutagenic gifts, took personal interest in the chapter master, Enoch Trismegistus. In a dark and decisive moment, the greater demon hurled the full force of his psychic power into Trismegistus, seizing control of his body. Though possessed by the demon, Trismegistus did not yield. An internal war of wills raged between the chapter master and the Daemon, as Trismegistus fought to maintain his identity and control. With immense mental fortitude, and through the psychic link with Chief Librarian Gytos, Trismegistus managed the impossible. He banished Keriath from real space, reclaiming his body. This victory came at a cost, for both the chapter master and the Exorcists now attracted the attention of a radical inquisitorial sect, the Plutonians. The demon possession, though temporary, was enough for them to move against Trismegistus, leading to his arrest and interrogation. For months, he endured the scrutiny of the Ordo Malleus, who sought to understand the nature of his resistance and the potential of demon possession as a weapon in the war against chaos. The knowledge gained from Trismegistus's ordeal did not go unnoticed. Rather than simply passing judgment, the radical inquisitors, impressed by the mental strength shown during his possession, proposed a bold and controversial theory. Demonic possession, they argued, could be harnessed, controlled, and used as a trial for new Exorcist recruits. Trismegistus, having glimpsed the mind of the demon Keriath, saw merit in their dangerous proposition. Thus began the chapter's dark secret, the Halls of Tempering. In these secret chambers on their homeworld of Banish, Exorcist neophytes, and even some veteran Astartes, would undergo controlled possession by lesser demons under the watchful eye of the Plutonian Inquisitors. The demons would be driven out after a time, but not before leaving scars, both mental and physical, scars that would ultimately strengthen the Exorcist's resolve in the wars to come. The results of these dangerous rituals were undeniable. Exorcists who survived the Halls of Tempering emerged hardened, their souls tempered in the fire of demonic corruption and rebirth. They became dauntless in the face of the warp's influence, their experiences granting them rare insight into the workings of chaos and the nature of demons. Yet this knowledge came at a price. The physical and psychological toll on the Battle Brothers was immense, leaving them scarred and often distant. Nonetheless, their silence on the nature of their training remains absolute, as even a whisper of their methods could spell disaster for the chapter. The Exorcists stand as a symbol of what can be gained by dancing on the edge of damnation, but at what cost, only they truly know. With the approval of Chapter Master Trismegistus, the Exorcists embarked on a dark and dangerous path known as demonic possession therapy. This grim process involved deliberately exposing chosen initiates to possession by minor warp entities under the tight supervision of the Ordo Malleus Inquisition. Each Astartes selected for this trial would endure 12 agonizing solar hours of possession before the demon was forcibly banished by inquisitorial agents. The process was not without casualties. Some Space Marines were irreparably damaged, both in body and mind, and had to be executed. However, the majority survived, needing only minor reconstructive surgery to repair the damage. These survivors emerged from the ordeal as warriors with a deep understanding of demonkind, their very essence altered by the experience. The Exorcists' success in combating demons was attributed not only to their strengthened willpower, but also to the teachings that followed their possession ordeal. After a period of recovery, the surviving subjects were trained in the use of the 666 verses of the Book of Exorcisms, a sacred text used by demon hunters across the Imperium. Armed with these arcane verses, along with the weapons and tactics of those who hunt the servants of chaos, the Exorcists were ready to serve the Emperor in their new role. One side effect of their ordeal was an eerie one. Those subjected to demonic possession emerged with no detectable psychic signature, making them invisible to psychers, a boon in their war against demonkind. To test the effectiveness of these newly transformed warriors, 2 full companies of exorcists, around 200 battle brothers, were deployed to a demon-infested world near the Eye of Terror. A squad of Grey Knights, the most revered of the demon hunters, stood by in reserve, prepared to intervene should the exorcists falter or turn against their handlers. But the Inquisitor's concerns proved unfounded. The exorcists fought with unparalleled ferocity, achieving a staggering kill ratio of 97-1. Their victory was undeniable proof of the chapter's new capabilities, and soon afterward, the exorcists were fully chartered, with recruitment resuming until they reached their full strength of 1,000 Astartes. Each new recruit would now face the same demonic possession trial before ascending to full initiation, a dangerous rite that had become a cornerstone of the chapter's identity. As the Plutonians continued their radical experiments, a disturbing discovery was made. Some exorcists, whose bodies and minds had been too broken by possession to continue as battle brothers, displayed an unnatural ability to retain warp entities within their flesh. In a series of chilling tests, it was found that these failed initiates could hold multiple demons prisoner within their corporeal forms, transforming them into unwilling vessels of unimaginable torment. These broken Astartes, known as the Broken Ones, lived on in a state of eternal agony, their bodies kept alive by the very demonic forces that had destroyed their minds. Though they could no longer serve on the battlefield, they found a grim purpose in their suffering. They became walking prisons, containing the very entities that had been banished from their successful brethren. However, keeping such abominations on the chapter's homeworld of Banish would have been far too dangerous. To mitigate this risk, the Exorcists dispatched the Broken Ones into deep space, where they would spend eternity aboard a secret prison craft known as the Purgatomb. This massive warded vessel drifts through the void, its cells housing the wretched remnants of failed exorcists, each one holding a piece of the warp's twisted power within them. For 5 millennia, the Purgatomb has served this grim purpose, and although its location has been discovered at times, its true contents have never been revealed to the wider Imperium. Should even one of the Broken Ones escape, the consequences would be catastrophic, not only for the Exorcists, but potentially for the entire galaxy. Though the Exorcist chapter spends much of its time engaged in fleet-based campaigns, their homeworld is the remote and forbidding feral world of Banish. Located within the Narasima Straits, a quarantined region in the eastern fringes of the galaxy's Ultima Segmentum, Banish serves as both their fortress monastery and primary training ground. The planet, devoid of significant natural resources or strategic infrastructure, is an ideal location for a chapter as secretive and isolated as the Exorcists. Here, the chapter's gene seed reserves, battle honors, and occult archives are safeguarded within the labyrinthine depths of their fortress monastery, the Basilica Malefics. Hidden beneath the acid swamps of the planet's surface, this subterranean stronghold is a place of both great strategic importance and arcane mystery. Banish is more than just a hidden sanctuary for the Exorcists. It is also home to several clandestine Ordo Malleus research facilities protected under the chapter's watchful eye. These secret installations are overseen by radical elements of the Inquisition who work closely with the Exorcists, particularly in the study and containment of demonic forces. Such dangerous pursuits would be impossible to conduct openly in other parts of the Imperium, but Banish's desolate and unremarkable nature makes it the perfect location for these controversial experiments. Despite the planet's seeming barrenness, it offers a valuable recruitment pool for the chapter in the form of the nomadic human tribes who inhabit its surface. Descended from stranded Imperial prospectors, these primitive yet resilient people have forgotten much of their technological past, but their strength and resourcefulness make them ideal candidates for the Exorcists' harsh selection process. The heart of the Exorcists' operations lies deep below the surface in the Basilica Malefics, a vast and shadowy fortress that encompasses not only the chapter's command centers, armory, and training grounds, but also the halls of tempering. It is here that new initiates undergo the harrowing process of demonic possession under the watchful eyes of the Plutonian Inquisitors. This foreboding underground complex holds secrets known only to senior members of the chapter and the Inquisition, and those who survive the initiation emerge with no memory of the arcane procedures they endured. The remainder of the monastery adheres more closely to the design of other Space Marine strongholds, though it bears certain peculiarities that reflect the unique character of the Exorcists. At the core of the fortress lies the Cloister of Scars, a quadriform walkway connecting key sections of the monastery. Within this space, the living quarters, training grounds, and command centers are linked to an atrium that serves as both a place of mourning for the fallen and a private sanctuary for meditation. The outer walls of the cloister are lined with imposing stone archways, some leading to the chapter's major institutions: the Reclusium, the Apothecarian, the Armory, and the Council Chamber, where the chapter master and his officers govern their forces. Most striking of all is the grand gateway leading to the chapter librarius, the sealed archive where the Exorcists preserve their vast collection of battle records and occult lore. The chapter librarius stands as a testament to the Exorcist's dedication to studying the enemies of the Imperium, particularly the demonic. While most Space Marine chapters prioritize understanding their foes to exploit weaknesses in battle, the Exorcists take this pursuit to its extreme. The librarians meticulously document every encounter with chaos, especially demonkind, ensuring that every scrap of knowledge gained on the battlefield is preserved for future generations. This accumulation of occult knowledge would be seen as dangerously heretical by many in the Imperium, But the Exorcists know that ignorance in the face of demons is a far greater peril. The vaults of the Librarius are heavily warded with hexagrammic seals, and the air is thick with the scent of purifying incense, protecting the contents from corruption. Though arcane knowledge plays a vital role in the Exorcist's approach to warfare, the chapter prides itself on being a versatile and balanced force. Their records are not solely devoted to the study of demons, but also to the tactics needed to defeat Xenos and mortal enemies. By analyzing every battle in painstaking detail, the Exorcists ensure that they are as prepared as possible for any threat, constantly refining their methods and strategies to remain a formidable force within the Imperium. The Exorcist chapter is renowned for its adaptability and tactical unpredictability in battle, traits that have allowed them to outmaneuver their enemies time and again. They approach each conflict with a fluid mindset, ready to shift strategies at a moment's notice when their foes counter one approach. This makes the Exorcists a deeply challenging opponent, as their ability to adjust and anticipate movements often catches even the most seasoned enemy commanders off guard. Coupled with their extensive knowledge of the occult and chaos, the Exorcists are uniquely equipped to confront the horrors of the warp, mastering both physical and spiritual realms in ways few chapters can match. One of the most striking characteristics of the Exorcist combat doctrine is their use of occult mental techniques, enabling them to enter trance-like states of heightened consciousness. When in this state, an Exorcist Astartes becomes entirely devoid of fear and pain, able to fight with unyielding focus, even in the face of the most nightmarish demonic threats. While similar techniques exist within other chapters, none employ them as consistently or effectively as the Exorcists. This mental fortitude has become legendary across the Imperium, allowing the Battle Brothers to remain operational even when their bodies are battered or their minds assaulted by the maddening influences of the warp. Central to their success against demonic foes is the Exorcists' unparalleled mastery of arcane lore. Their deep knowledge of chaos and its demonic entities is surpassed only by the Grey Knights and the Ordo Malleus. This expertise enables them to identify and counter the manipulations of the demon with precision, making them experts in combating the warp's denizens. To further enhance their ability to resist chaos, each Exorcist Astartes is said to have memorized the 666 verses of the Book of Exorcisms, broken the 7 seals of Salamoneth, and mastered the use of unicursal hexagrams. While these rituals and practices grant them unparalleled protection, they have also drawn the suspicion and ire of more zealous factions within the Imperium, such as the Black Templars and Space Wolves, who view any form of sorcery, even in service to the Emperor, as heretical. Despite this internal scrutiny, the Exorcists maintain a strong political alliance with the Inquisition, particularly the Ordo Malleus. This close relationship grants them a degree of freedom and trust that many other Space Marine chapters lack when dealing with the Imperium's bureaucracy. Their cooperation with the Inquisition allows them to operate with fewer obstacles and provides access to valuable resources and knowledge. The Exorcists' unusual partnership with the Inquisition sets them apart, but their strategic flexibility is what defines them as a military force. While the Grey Knights may rely on psychic abilities and ancient artifacts, the Exorcists rely on their indomitable spiritual resolve and the wealth of tactical and arcane knowledge stored within their archives. The Exorcists are also unique in their use of reconnaissance forces. Unlike most chapters, they deploy their neophyte scouts not only for intelligence gathering, but also for active combat. These neophytes often take on roles typically reserved for fully fledged battle brothers, forced into brutal and dangerous missions that test their mental and physical fortitude. By placing these young warriors in harm's way, the chapter weeds out the weak, ensuring that only the strongest survive to undergo the possession ritual that marks their final ascension. A favored tactic involves deploying these neophytes in vulnerable positions, luring enemies into a false sense of security before crushing them with overwhelming force. A cunning strategy that perfectly reflects the Exorcist's deceptive and adaptive nature. The integration of Primaris Space Marines during the era Indomitus has only strengthened the Exorcist's already formidable capabilities. Their 10th company has been transformed into a vanguard company, with Phobos armored Primaris Astartes leading infiltration missions ahead of the main force. These units, alongside Hellblasters and Repulsor tanks, give the chapter an unmatched edge in both tactical flexibility and battlefield power. Even before the arrival of Primaris reinforcements, the Exorcists had a history of close collaboration with the radical Plutonian sect of the Ordo Malleus. These inquisitors often fight alongside the chapter, either as allies or observers, ensuring the Exorcists remain a reliable, if dangerous, force in the Imperium's arsenal. The Exorcists chapter, in its inception and ongoing legacy, stands apart from other Adeptus Astartes. Their very existence was conceived as a force to combat chaos, and from their earliest days, they have forged their identity through the trials of demonic possession and the harrowing rituals of the Ordo Malleus. This has shaped a chapter whose battle brothers are uncommonly versed in the occult arts, yet whose strength does not come from psychic power or unique war gear, but from an unyielding resolve and unparalleled knowledge of their enemies. Through the controversial practices of demonic possession therapy and the rituals performed in the depths of the halls of tempering, the Exorcists have proven themselves capable of facing down even the most terrifying manifestations of the warp without faltering. This mastery over their own fears has allowed them to become legends among demon hunters, securing a reputation for ruthlessness and tactical ingenuity. Their training on Banish, beneath the shadow of the Basilica Malefics, and the dark secrets they harbor within the Purgatum, all speak to the extreme lengths the chapter is willing to go to in their war against chaos. Despite their apparent detachment from psychic powers, the Exorcists' adaptability in battle sets them apart. They utilize every tool at their disposal, including the lessons they've learned through hardship and their vast collection of occult lore. This studiousness, however, does not hinder their aggressive nature in warfare. Once engaged, their calm, honorable demeanor transforms into raw ferocity, applying their intelligence to swiftly outmaneuver and overwhelm their foes. Whether confronting demons or more mundane enemies, they thrive in chaos and unpredictability, constantly shifting tactics to keep their opponents off balance. Perhaps most telling of the Exorcist's identity is their precarious relationship with the wider Imperium. Their knowledge of chaos, combined with their immunity to its temptations, positions them uniquely close to the dangers of radicalism. Unlike many of their more orthodox counterparts, the Exorcists are pragmatic, not hesitating to use the weapons or strategies of their enemies if it serves the greater good. This willingness to adopt unconventional methods, even at the risk of drawing suspicion from the ecclesiarchy or other chapters, demonstrates their ultimate dedication to victory over chaos, regardless of the personal or moral cost. In the end, the Exorcists embody the paradox of their name. They are both the banishers of evil and, at times, the keepers of darkness. From their disciplined intellect to their controlled savagery in battle, the Exorcists remain one of the Imperium's most formidable and mysterious weapons